Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video we'll be going through the Sydney Thunder vs Perth Scorchers BBL SuperCoach game review, going through how Perth Scorchers, their season sank pretty much it got off to an absolute flyer, and I'm pretty sure they've lost 4 straight, and now with results being such, I think they're mathematically now out of the finals. I tried to find the game that was going to do it, but I think it's a combination of basically 2 or 3 games where everyone plays each other. So it pretty much has to be that someone's got to take 2 points. And I think that's the reason why they cannot make finals anymore. Can Perth Scorchers. So it'll definitely be a rebuilding year for them. I think the injuries definitely did put them down. Josh Inglis not really playing. Aaron Hardy not really bowling. Jai Richardson doing his shoulder in the Sheffield Shield pretty much and playing with it was definitely an interesting thing, and definitely didn't help them. Andrew Ty, he's really regressed in the last 12 months. So that was really interesting to see that, given that he had really good form leading into it, but just couldn't show it. But anyway, we're here to talk about the Sydney Thunder and how dominating they were. And I think it just shows to me, and this is why I'm so worried that I'm going to pick the wrong guy. David Warner, so much form leading up to it, and then it's just gone and scored 8. And I don't think he took a catch there to get to 18 SuperCoach point. Where is it here? He took a really good catch there to get to 18. But still, 18's only, that's next to nothing compared to what some of the other guys did, and it's really groundbreaking. And I know that he had a really good performance in the double, scored 70 and now 108, but he scored 186 or something in the 3 games with 2 really good knocks. So with a 50 and an 80 odd. So it's is he that valuable now or something? Let's just actually check and show you guys what I'm exactly talking about. David Warner here. 3-round average of 84. If we look at his games here, 70 and 108 in the previous game. So he's now scored 186 in his last 3, which is only 62 average and heading into the final round. So it just shows how volatile batsmen can be and how they almost need to set themselves up and get through their first 30 or so balls, and just sort of set the game up, because by 30 balls or so, they should be on about 40 or so points, and they can really make it up in the back 30 or so balls that they face, where they score, say, 50, 60, 70 runs. I know Smith scored 80 odd, but they score 50, 60 runs, get the 10 run bonus for the 50, or if not the 20 for the 100, and then score a good 15 or so strike rate bonus by getting that up and about. So that's where they really score their runs in, if they survive their first 30 or so balls. Sammy Constas, he actually did it the other way. I think he was on about 55 at about the end of the power play, and ended up on, I think, a 68. So really slowed down in terms of scoring rate. I think he scored something like 23 off his last 27 balls, because the pitch just turned into a rank turner. Like I said, that is something, and I also made a tweet about this as well, that was something we really need to look at in terms of the BBL SuperCoach next year with terms of pitches here. It's just these, like I said, Adelaide Oval is basically an autobahn. It is dead flat. SCG is pretty much not going to change every week. It's a 150 par pitch. I know Steve Smith did Steve Smith things, but when you take out Steve Smith's score, I think they score like 100 off about 100 or so, 90 something off about 56 or something rocks. It wasn't as good outside of Steve Smith, and they scored 130 in the last 10 or something, and like 160 in the last 12. So they were on about 60 after 8 overs, which is about 150. Gabba and the Optus are just quick. MCG is sort of around that sort of SCG type thing. NG after a rain is always a slow, low turner, and then you can see, and you could have foreseen the Brisbane and Cooper Connolly also bowling. And then, I think I said it something down here as well, ran out of character to say Marvel and Hobart are always roughly the same, that the spinners and pace bowlers that bowl off cutter seem to dominate, and batsmen that take their time and then go in the back end do really well scoring wise. It can also hurt the actual game if they do wait to go, but if they do take their time, they generally can go big at the back end. I just want to see what's this. Okay, that's just that. Anyway, Moving back along, so yeah, semi-finals scored well. Dev Warner sucked. He just got out to a ball that just reared up. Matty Gilks nicked off. And then Sam Billings, he got bowled. He just never looked likely. And Cooper Connolly bowled really, really well. 1 for 16 off 4. 1 for 16 off 4. Got into that low economy rate bonus. Another run there. And that would have been 5 points less for him. So yeah, Sam Billings, he sucked. Don't know why they brought George Garton up to number 5. I think they were just trying to go lefty-righty and it just failed. Hugh Wiebken at 6, he just couldn't get going against the spin, tried to slog it. And then Chris Green, he found a way, just trying to nudge it down the ground and just waiting for the pace bowlers to come back on to dominate. Nathan McAndrew got away. Jason Behrendorff, who was lucky to get that wicket in the end, he didn't bowl well. He hasn't bowled well the last couple of games, and he's almost going to be at a slight little discount, I feel like. Even though he scored a 49, it's going to be probably priced at around that 60 to... He's actually priced up again, near enough his maximum, which is quite annoying because it feels like he hasn't actually bowled terribly well in the last 3 to 4 games. But then again, he seems to just take points for funny. In their last game, the SCG still got 45 points there. I think he took a catch or 2. And let's just check that. Nope, he didn't take a catch. He took a wicket and also 15 for a maiden over. That was like the first over of the game. He got a maiden or something. Yeah, he's got a couple of maiden overs, which is quite freakish. Three maiden overs this comp is ridiculous. That's 45 points. I don't think that'll be replicable. That's almost 4 points a game that he's gotten there straight off that. 5 points a game at this point in the season. But don't think that's replicable. And then, Tom Andrews just came in at the back end and got 62 points, which is almost the same amount of points as Sam Constas did. For his 37 did Tom Andrews. If Sam Constas had faced like another 2 balls and scored 1 less run, it would have been the exact same score. So, Behrendorff, 4 overs, 1 for 53, and he still got a 45, including, I think it was a good, a 49 for him, but 17 did come off the bat. So you take that 17 out. He still gets a 32 for going 1 for 53. It's quite ridiculous. He did also have a catch in there as well. So the bowling statistics was only 22. Lance Morris, 3 for 43. Very, very expensive, but you take it when you get 78 points. No one cares about going for 43 runs when you take 3 for. Marley Beardman, he looked alright, but the good thing about Marley Beardman is he also scored some runs. But he got a 6, so he'll be min price 58k next year. And with Andrew Tye, I suspect moving on, Marley Beardman also got smacked by his Oz under-19 teammate in the likes of Sam Constas. I think he'll be better next year, especially another year in the professional setup. He should be a lot stronger, and I wouldn't be surprised if he puts on another 2, 3, 4Ks an hour. And that will really help him out, as well as I don't think it was the best pitch for him to bowl on necessarily. So I think him just having no Andrew Tye there should actually really help him out, which will be good to see. Can't believe Andrew Tye with that performance. Did he not? Andrew Tye didn't play. They pulled him for Marley Beardman himself. I thought Andrew Tye had played there for a second. Ashton Turner, we knew that this was going to happen. The spinners bowled 10 overs, 3 for 38 between them. Turner and Connolly get the max economy rate bonus alongside heaps of dot balls, which was just absolutely huge. You see here Agar is 62 for him because of mostly the max economy rate bonus. Cooper Connolly is 62 as well. They had exactly the same scoring patterns, which is quite funny to see, especially because, they were slightly different, but they did the exact same thing. And Spores even took a wicket and ended up, I think, on a 40 or so. 38 for him because of the 13 runs that he scored. Then we move across here to the, just Chris Green getting the 20 off 16. He got the single in the last over. That got him 6 extra points, which was huge. But then we go to the chaos that was the start of the Perth Scorchers innings. And you can just see here pretty much that no one got going. And Matthew Spoole's 13 off 27 just showed how difficult it was on that pitch. Even half trackers from spinners were impossible to play. But yeah, Sam Fanning, run out by Chris Green. Aaron Hardy sold him down the river. One of the biggest run outs biggest barbecues I've seen ever. Was never going to make it, Sam Fanning, or Aaron Hardy for that sake. Just run out by half a pitch. So that got Chris Green 20 points, which just shows how good he was on this pitch and how good a hold he was. And I want to say that they have the SCG next week. I'm just going to quickly double check that they have the SCG next week. Yeah, so it's not as good as them being at NG Stadium, which you line up on the spinners. But still, I think Chris Green could do really well on the SCG. Finn Allen, I told you especially that I was going to make that move and hold Chris Green over Finn Allen. I did hold Ashton Turner as that emergency, but I thought he could actually do all right in that case scenario. I thought he could also get a bowl. I thought his captaincy this year has been really rather poor. So I thought he should have probably bowled himself and Spores more and gotten away from the quicks, as we saw with the Sydney Thunder. They bowled 11 overs of spin and took 5 for 31, 51. 5 for 51 compared to 3 for 38 off 10. And it just shows the pacemen there as well. The pacemen weren't as bad for the Thunder, but I thought also the pacemen were really poor for the Perth Scorchers. Power play, and then also at the back end. So I thought I think they went 115 off their tender paces. So I thought you really could have looked at potentially bowling another over or two of spin there with Turner or Spores. To be honest with you, I thought that's where he got it a little bit wrong. Finn Allen, he got caught early, just tried to go with the ball, and pretty much the same almost dismissal as the likes of Warner. Just sort of jumped on him a little bit and caught almost the splice of the bat. Warner was the edge, but that was sort of the splice for Finn Allen, and got caught at cover. Aaron Hardy missed a straight one, a half-tracker straight one off a spinner that just turned. Cooper Connolly, he got run out from a keeper's arm that bounced twice and then a direct hit. That was ridiculous itself, and that pretty much killed the game off. I think Cooper Connolly's dismissal. They were at that point 4 for 41, and I just thought at that point that they were really going to struggle. The spinners started to come on and were going for 3, 4, 5 and over, as you see here. 11 overs for 51 is like 4.6 and over. I don't think you're going to be able to chase 8 and over, 9 and over, 10 and over at that point with the spinners bowling that well. Ashton Turner, he got caught in the deep in pretty much the same over as Cooper Connolly's dismissal. Nick Hobson got out a couple overs later in the 10th over, and by then you knew the game was over at 6 for 60, needing 90 odd, with spinners still having about 7 overs up their sleeve. Hobson, maybe it was 6 overs up their sleeve at that point. Spores as well, 13 off 27, got stumped by Sam Billings. Sam Billings as well for having a horrible time with the bat, 8 off 17. He still got to a 33, which was decent from him. And then you have also, he got Miley Beardman caught down the leg side, I believe, in the last over to get him 10 points, which was good for Sam Billings owners, but I think a lot of people have Matt Wade at this point. Talked about Spores. Ash Nagar, he just got caught at mid-off. David Warner going back with the ball, that was a really good catch. And then Lance Morris missed a straight one. And Miley Beardman annoyingly got a single off of one of Chris Green's last balls. I think it was second last ball of the Chris Green spell. That could have been a maiden, and that could have been another dot ball and another 15 points for Chris Green, which would have been huge, but it is what it is. Still, Chris Green did get 3 for 13 off 4. He looked immaculate on that pitch, but I knew that spinners would do really well on that pitch, and Chris Green, if it wasn't for Tom Andrews getting that, probably that 6 to end the innings off, that Jason Berenouf bowled a Noe in the last over. If Andrews only ends on 31 off 12 or something like that, or even just 25 off 13, something like that, I think that Chris Green probably gets man of the match. But that momentum that Tom Andrews created was absolutely huge, and he provided 1 for 20 with the ball as well. I don't think he did anything in the field, but he still ended up on an 80 or something. 100 there actually. So yeah, he did really well as well. Got the economy rate bonus and the 8 dot balls there to really put up himself with a huge score for a guy that isn't really owned, and a guy that I think can pick up a contract next year at a BBL club, because I think he's a lot better than a lot of these other guys that are playing. And then Hasnain, he returned something, but yeah, just was never the pitch for him. McAndrew returned, and we're not going to see Agar again. I thought McAndrew bowled a lot better than Agar was. Just a lot more into the pitch, which Agar hasn't been doing that well this year. But anyway, that is the video. They're going through the, this game, and how the Perth Scorchers have just forgotten how to play cricket this year. They'll come back next year. They usually have one of these off years, and then for the next half decade, they just go on a run. So watch them in their space next year, especially because they'll probably bleed in Marley Beardman and some other guys here. They'll try and really get those youngsters a game here in the last round. But Sydney Thunder are locked into finals now, and we'll see them. They have the Sydney Smash to really decide out of them and sort of the Sydney Sixers who's going to finish in that second spot, I would suggest. As we could see Hobart stuff up. Hobart do have 3 games left compared to the Sixers and the Thunder. Well, the Thunder aren't going to finish top, I don't think. But the Sixers and the Hobart are really battling it out for top spot here. And we'll see who finishes top. But anyway, if you did enjoy that video, remember to like and subscribe. Turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. For those listening on Spotify, give me a follow and a rating over there. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the game between the Hobart Hurricanes and the Melbourne Renegades. That review there will be live tomorrow. So see you guys then. Bye, guys.